Once again, hello students. We are continuing the class of the photosynthesis in higher plants, and in the previous class, we people have seen regarding the raw materials required for photosynthesis, that is CO2, H2O, sunlight, and the chlorophyll pigment. Also, we people have seen that in detail. It is raw materials required for photosynthesis. So first of all, we have seen about the sunlight. So sunlight plays a very important role in the process of photosynthesis, as I have already told you. This band of light is called as what? Spectrum. Just a brief revision. The band of light is called as what? Spectrum. So two types of spectrums are there. That is the action spectrum and the absorption spectrum. So action spectrum is nothing but the immediate reaction given by the plant body for the when the sun rays or sunlight is falling on the leaf. That is called as what? Action spectrum. Whereas absorption spectrum means the plant has to decide that which wavelength number is suitable for the process of photosynthesis, and then it has to undergo the process of photosynthesis or food synthesis. So that is called as what? Absorption spectrum. So usually the absorption spectrum is bit delayed. Okay. Now here if you remember the first class, that is the site of photosynthesis, chloroplast, I have told you. There I have talked about the quantazome. And before the quantazome, I have talked about the thylakoids and also the grana. So what is grana here? Grana is the site of light reaction. What is grana here? Grana is the site of light reaction. And here inside the grana, we are going to see the presence of the thylakoids, which is a tubular shaped structure. And inside the thylakoids, we are going to see the presence of the quantasomes. So usually quantasomes are the small spherical shaped structure which has been discovered by the scientist called as Park and Wiggins, and then these quantasomes are having the capacity to absorb the light. Okay, and then the activation of the chlorophyll pigment is going to occur, and after that activation of the chlorophyll pigments, all the chlorophyll pigments are coming to one center, that is called as what? Reaction center. Okay, what do we call for that? That is called as what? Reaction center. Okay, and that reaction center is also called as photosystem. So they based on the wavelength number, we are going to see that there are two types of photosystem, that is photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. So photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 are the two types of photosystems which are purely based on the wavelength number. Okay, and these photosystems, they just on what basis they are present, that is based on the wavelength number of the visible light, that is what do we call, that is the ion. Okay, so normally photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 wavelength number ranges from 680 to 720 nanometer. Okay, normally the photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 wavelength number ranges from 680 to 720 nanometer. Okay, and after this sunlight, we people are seeing the CO2 and the H2O. So carbon dioxide is also essential element or raw material for the process of photosynthesis. So without the carbon dioxide, no carbohydrate synthesis is going to occur. Carbon dioxide irlardane carbohydrate synthesis agalla. So that is why the carbon dioxide plays a very important role in the process of the carbohydrate synthesis, and nearly 0.03 to 0.05% of the carbon dioxide, maximum 1% of the CO2 is required for photosynthesis. Okay, rest if it is more than 1%, then it leads to the toxic substance. Okay, what it leads? It leads to the toxic substance. Then next, coming to the water, that is H2O. So H2O also plays a very important role in the process of photosynthesis. Okay, H2O also plays a very important role in the process of photosynthesis, and here only 1% of the water is required for the activation of the enzymes. Okay, why the water is essential for the plant bodies? For the activation of the enzymes, and these enzymes are helping for carrying the metabolic activity of the plant body. ಯಾಕೆ ವಾಟರ್ ನೀರು ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು ಗಿಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಫಿಸಿಯಾಲಜಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಸಂಶ್ಲೇಷಣ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಉಸಿರಾಡುವ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಎನ್ಸೈಮ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಎನ್ಸೈಮ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೀರು ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ರೋಲ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎನ್ಸೈಮ್ಸ್. So that is why the 1% of water is required for photosynthesis. After the water, next we are going to see is the chlorophyll pigment. So chlorophyll is the green color pigment. What is chlorophyll here? Green color pigment which is present inside the leaf. Chlorophyll ಗೆ ನಾವು ಪತ್ರಹರಿತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಪತ್ರಹರಿತು ಎಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಾವ? ಎಲೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರ್ತಾವ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಎಲೆ ಹಸಿರು ಕಲರ್ ಇರೋದು, ಎಲೆ ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಹಸಿರು ಕಲರ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. And there is a presence of more number of chloroplasts and more number of quantasomes and more number of thylakoids. Okay, ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು chloroplast ಇರ್ತಾವ, ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು quantasomes ಇರ್ತಾವ, ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು thylakoids ಇರ್ತಾವ. So ಅವೆಲ್ಲ just all those are helping for the absorption of the light for the process of the photosynthesis. That is about the chlorophyll pigment. And there are 5 types of chlorophyll pigments we are going to see. Already in the previous class I have told you about the chlorophyll pigment. So chlorophyll pigment are of 5 types, and that is chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C, chlorophyll D and chlorophyll E. So chlorophyll A is called as what? Universal pigment. What the chlorophyll A is called? Chlorophyll A is called as universal pigment. And here the chlorophyll pigment, see the structure of the chlorophyll, it is also there. Chemically if we go, the structure is made up of porphyrin head and phytol tail. See, actually sorry. So here we are going to see porphyrin head. Okay, porphyrin head and phytol tail we will see. So here chemical product will be there, chemical product will be there, like this tail will be there. So porphyrin head and phytol tail are the two structure where the chlorophyll pigment is made up of. And the empirical formula, it is very important for the NEET and the CET concern. The empirical formula for chlorophyll A is C55H72O5N4Mg. The empirical formula for chlorophyll A is C55H72O5N4Mg, whereas the empirical formula for chlorophyll B is C55H70O6N4Mg. Now students, chlorophyll pigment is made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and the magnesium. Chlorophyll pigment is made up of all these components, that is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and the magnesium. Suppose in case if any one of the element is also not working properly, then chlorophyll pigment is not going to work properly. Suppose in case if any one of the element is not working properly, then chlorophyll pigment is not working properly. So if the chlorophyll pigment is not working properly, then the photosynthetic rate is going to become less, and if the photosynthetic rate is going to become less, the plant bodies are not going to survive. Okay, so this you have to remember. I have also told you about the bacterias. Bacterias ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಒಳಗ ನೀವು ಬಯೋಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥೆಟಿಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ? ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥೆಟಿಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥೆಟಿಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ? ಯಾವ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾನಾಗ ಪತ್ರಹರಿತ ಕಾಂಪೊನೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೋ ಅವು ತಾವೇ ದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಸಂಶ್ಲೇಷಣ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಒಳಗಾಗ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥೆಟಿಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Those bacteria which are having the chlorophyll pigments, they undergo the process called as food synthesis or the photosynthesis, and those are called as what? Photosynthetic bacteria. And these photosynthetic bacteria also consist of 5 pigments. The photosynthetic bacteria also they consist of 5 pigments: chlorophyll A, B, C, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯೋಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅವು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಒಳಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯೋಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯೋಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್ ಎ, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯೋಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್ ಬಿ, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯೋಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್ ಸಿ, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯೋಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್ ಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯೋಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್ ಇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. So since the chlorophyll pigments are present inside the bacteria, we are calling those as the bacteriochlorophyll. So there are 5 types of the bacteriochlorophyll we are going to see, that is bacteriochlorophyll A, B, C, D and And also here we are going to see that there is a, apart from the green color pigment, there is also a presence of the colored pigments, and those colored pigments are called as what? Carotenoids. Colored pigments are called as what? Carotenoids. What are the colored pigments are called? Colored pigments are called as carotenoids. ಮಕ್ಕಳ್ರ ಎಲೆ ಹಸಿರು ಕಲರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಲರ್ನು ಹೊಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾವೆ. ಆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಲರ್ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ದ್ರವಗಳಿರಬೇಕು. ಆ ದ್ರವಗಳ ಹೆಸರು ಅಥವಾ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೆಸರು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಕೆರೋಟಿನಾಯ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಡು ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಕಲರ್ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವಾಟ್? Carotenoids. Understood? So here two types of carotenoids we are going to see. That is the xanthophylls and the phycobilins. Okay. So carotenoids ಒಳಗಡೆನೆ ನಾವು ಎರಡು ಟೈಪ್ ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. Carotenoids are of two types. Carotenoids are of two types. One is called as what? Xanthophylls, and other one is called as what? Phycobilins. One is called as what? Xanthophylls, and other one is called as what? Phycobilin. Carotenoids ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎರಡು ಟೈಪ್ ಇದಾವೆ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ carotenoids ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಲರ್ಡ್ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಹಸಿರು ಕಲರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಲರ್ ಇರ್ತಾವೆ. So apart from the green color leaf, the leaf you have seen almost the leaf are having a varieties of colors. Okay, like purple color, yellowish color, green, somewhat grey color. Okay, so all these varieties you are going to see because of these colored pigments. Xanthophylls and the phycobilins are the two types of colored pigments. So once again, in the xanthophylls we are going to see the presence of alpha carotene and the beta carotene. Xanthophylls are consisting of two types of carotene, that is alpha carotene and the beta carotene. Xanthophylls ಒಳಗಡೆನೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎರಡು ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವೆ. ಒಂದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಆಲ್ಫಾ ಕೆರೋಟಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೀಟಾ ಕೆರೋಟಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಮತ್ತೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಲ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾಂಥಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ NCERT ಒಳಗಿಲ್ಲ. For your CET and the NEET it is very important. Please you have to note it down. Okay, so carotenoids are the colored pigments which are consisting of two color types, that is xanthophylls and the phycobilins. Xanthophylls are of once again three types: alpha carotene, beta carotene, leucoxanthin. Xanthophylls ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ ಹೊಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತದೆ? Especially the orange color. Xanthophylls is made up of orange colored pigment. Xanthophylls is made up of orange colored pigment. Understood? So this orange colored pigments are of three types: alpha carotene, beta carotene and the leucoxanthin. Whereas the phycobilins, it is consisting of red color, brown color. Okay, so usually the phycobilins are present in the algal organisms and also in the higher organisms. Okay, so there are two types of phycobilins. One is called as lutein and the other one is called as what? Zeaxanthin. Phycobilins ನಾಗ ಎರಡು ಟೈಪ್ ಅದಾವ. ಒಂದಕ್ಕೆ lutein ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ zeaxanthin ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, so the empirical formula for the xanthophylls empirical formula ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ C40H56 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ phycobilin empirical formula C40H56O2. Phycobilin are of two types, lutein and the zeaxanthin, and the empirical formula for the phycobilin is C40H56O2. Xanthophylls are of three types: alpha carotene, beta carotene, leucoxanthin. Empirical formula for xanthophylls is C40H56. And what are these xanthophylls and phycobilins? They are the colored pigments. What they are? They are the colored pigments. Xanthophylls is made up of orange colored pigment and phycobilin is made up of red or the brownish color pigment. Okay, so this is all about the chlorophyll pigments what I wanted to say. So this completes this, along with the chlorophyll pigment we are completing the raw materials required for photosynthesis. What we are completing? We are completing the raw materials required for photosynthesis. Okay, so just you write only about the chlorophyll and the carotenoids. Just you write only about chlorophyll and carotenoids. Now after the raw materials required for photosynthesis, we are going to see the next concept, which is very important for, once again, for the theory and the CET and the NEET, that is called as what? Early experiments. Okay. Now what is the meaning of early experiments? See, photosynthesis hangaagtada, photosynthesis hingaagtada, ದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಸಂಶ್ಲೇಷಣ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಗಿಡದಾಗ ಹಿಂಗಾಗ್ತವೆ ಹಂಗಾಗ್ತವೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, we are understanding that concept, but somebody should be there to propose that one, and so many scientists have given their contribution. ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು ತಮ್ಮ ಉತ್ಪತ್ತಿ, what to say, ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರ, okay, ಆವಿಷ್ಕಾರ has been done. Okay, so that is the early experiments what we are going to see in the form of early experiments. ಪ್ರಾಯೋಗಿಕ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, experiments ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಯೋಗಿಕ ಕೇಂದ್ರ. Okay, okay, now see here, first scientist Joseph Priestley. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಹೆಸರು ಜೋಸೆಫ್ ಪ್ರೀಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. What he has done, he has proved, what he has proved, that oxygen is released during the photosynthesis. ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಯೂಶ್ವಲಿ ದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಸಂಶ್ಲೇಷಣ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕೀಪ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ವೆನೆವರ್ ದ ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ is going to occur, at that time there is a release of the oxygen. Then only the animals, including human beings, we are surviving on the earth. If there was no oxygen, we would have not survived on the earth. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಭೂಮಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಇರ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. So that is why it is very important. That is why the plants are called as lungs of nature. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಗಿಡಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ? Plants are called as lungs of nature. Okay, plants are called as what? Lungs of nature. ನೇಚರ್ನ ಶ್ವಾಸಕೋಶಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಗಿಡಗಳಿಗೆ. Okay, why? Because they are inhaling the carbon dioxide. ನಾವೇನು ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, CO2 ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ? They are inhaling the carbon dioxide, giving the oxygen. We are inhaling the oxygen and giving the carbon dioxide. So that is why we are calling the plants as the lungs of nature. Now Joseph Priestley is the first scientist who has proved that oxygen is required for photosynthesis, and he has done by the Bell-jar experiment. Now what is the meaning of the Bell-jar experiment? Now see here, so this is the Bell-jar. Okay, glass apparatus anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಇದನ್ನ Bell-jar ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, ಇದನ್ನ Bell-jar ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ? So ಈ Bell-jar ನಾಗ ಬರೀ take the Bell-jar has told, and also has taken the mouse. Okay, ಒಂದು ಇಲಿ ಇಳಿಸೋಣ. Okay, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣದು ಇಲಿ ಇಳಿಸೋಣ. So here there is a presence of mouse. Okay, and just yes, so here there is a presence of mouse. Okay, now when the mouse is and also he has taken the candle. Okay, and also he has taken the candle. Okay, now this is called as what? Bell-jar experiment. Now what he has done, first he has observed, first he was lighting the candle in the Bell-jar. ಬರೇ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಇಟ್ಟು ನೋಡಿದ್ರು. ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಐತೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ನಾಗ ಬರೀ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಇಟ್ಟು ನೋಡಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಬರೀ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಇಟ್ಟು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಉರಿತು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಶಾಂತ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ CO2ನ ತುಂಬಿಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಡನ್, ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸೆಂಡೆಡ್ ದ ಮೌಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಒಳಗೆ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರು, ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಹಚ್ಚಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಒಳಗೆ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರು. ಮತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. ವೈ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಸಫೋಕೇಶನ್ ಅಕರ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಕಿಡಕಿ ವೆಂಟಿಲೇಟರ್ ಏನೂ ಇರಲಾರ್ದ್ರೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತೆಗೀರಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಫೀಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ನಮಗೆ, ಸಫೋಕೇಶನ್ ಫೀಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಹೊರಗೆ ಓಡ್ ಬರಲಿ ಅನ್ನಂಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ತದೆ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೌಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೈ. ವೈ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದರ್ ವಾಸ್ ನೋ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅದರ್ what he has done in the another Bell-jar experiment. So he has taken the another Bell-jar. Okay, he has taken the another Bell-jar and he has candled the light. Okay, and the mint plant, he has involved the mint plant, and also there is a presence of the mouse. Okay, now plant is there, candle is there, mouse is there. Now this candle is releasing the CO2. That CO2 is absorbed by the mint plant body, and raw material, of course, it is present in the pot. So there is a presence of water. Okay, and CO2 is available, chlorophyll pigment is available, photosynthesis occurs in that. ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಚ್ಚಾ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳು ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಇದೆ. ಪಾಟೆಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ನೀರು ಇರ್ತದ, ಹಸಿರು ಎಲೆ ಇರ್ತವ, ಬೆಳೀತದ, CO2 ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ photosynthesis are available here, and simultaneously it is undergoing the process called as photosynthesis. As it is undergoing the process called as photosynthesis, the mouse is going to survive in the bell jar. Why? Because it is getting the oxygen. Understood? Why? Because it is getting the oxygen. So this is proving that oxygen is released from the photosynthesis. This is called as what? Bell jar experiment. Understood? So hope so you have understood. Okay. So in one bell jar only candle and the mouse was there. Because of the suffocation, the mouse is going to die. In another bell jar, the candle is there, mint plant is there, and the mouse is there. So this is plant. Okay. This is plant. This one is candle. And this one is mouse. So obviously the plant is having all the raw materials. Obviously the plant is having all the raw materials, that is CO2 it is having, water it is having, chlorophyll pigment it is having, okay, and the sunlight also it is having. Got? Since there is a presence of all the raw materials to the plant body, it is undergoing the process called as photosynthesis. So as it is undergoing the photosynthesis, oxygen is released by the plant body, and then the mouse is getting the oxygen, and hence it is going to survive. So this experiment is called as bell jar experiment, which has been proved by the scientist called as Joseph Priestley for the first time. Then Jan Ingenhousz has proved that sunlight is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. First time Jan Ingenhousz, of course Robert Emerson is also the scientist. I have told you at the time of sunlight ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ರಾಬರ್ಟ್ ಇಮರ್ಸನ್ scientist ಹೆಸರು ತಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. So he has also proved that the sunlight is important, but particularly he has proved that ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ರೆಡ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಬೇಕಲೇಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ರೆಡ್ ಲೈಟ್ನಾಗ ಇಳಿತ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಲೋ frequency or low wavelength range in the red light, then it is leading to the less number of photosynthesis, that is less rate of photosynthesis. So that is called as Robert Emerson's enhancement effect, or red drop effect we will call for that. Okay, but ಇಲ್ಲಿ Jan Ingenhousz is the first scientist who has proved that sunlight is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. After that, Nicholas Theodore de Saussure, he has proved that water is essential, and also the importance of the CO2 and the O2. ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಮತ್ತು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ತಿಳಿಸಿ ಹೇಳಿದವರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀರು ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನೀರು ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು, ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಎನ್ಸೈಮ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದವರು ಯಾರು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಿಕೋಲಾಸ್ ಥಿಯೋಡೋರ್ ಡಿ ಸಾಸರೆ. He is a scientist who has proved that water is essential for photosynthesis, and also he has proved the importance of the carbon dioxide and the oxygen. Also what he has proved? He has proved the importance of the carbon dioxide and the oxygen. Next is one more scientist is there, Dutrouchet. Dutrouchet is the scientist who has proved that chlorophyll is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. What Dutrouchet has proved? He has proved that chlorophyll is necessary for the process of the photosynthesis. And finally, the scientist called as Liebig. Liebig has proved that CO2 is the main source for the process of the photosynthesis. What Liebig has proved? He has proved that the CO2 is the main source for the process of the photosynthesis. Now these are the early experiments which has been proved by the different scientists. Once again, in the today's class, what I have told you, just I'll repeat the concepts, concentrate here. In the today's class, I have continued the chlorophyll pigment as I was telling the raw materials required for photosynthesis in the previous class. So chlorophyll pigment is the green color pigment which is present inside the leaves, and this chlorophyll is the main source for the process of photosynthesis, and it is having the wavelength range, okay, right from the 680 to 720 nanometer. And the measurement of the chlorophyll pigment, students, it is very important point. In the previous class I have told you, the measurement of the chlorophyll pigment is done by the instrument called as spectrophotometer. Spectrophotometer is the instrument where we are going to measure the wavelength range of the chlorophyll pigment. Spectrophotometer is the instrument where we are going to measure the wavelength range of the chlorophyll pigment. Okay, and here we are going to see the presence of the 5 types of chlorophyll pigment in the higher plant bodies, that is chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C, chlorophyll D and chlorophyll E. So among these 5 types of chlorophyll pigments, chlorophyll A is the universal pigment which is very important for 1 mark CT in the NEET. And here the chemical structure of the chlorophyll pigment, if we see, it is made up of, just for the sake of the knowledge, it is not necessary for you people, but just for the sake of the knowledge, you have to know that the chemical structure of the chlorophyll pigment is made up of porphyrin head and the phytol tail. Okay, and also students, we are going to see the empirical formula for chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. So chlorophyll A is having the C55H72O5N4Mg, that is the empirical formula, and chlorophyll B is having C50H70O6N4Mg. Okay, now apart from the higher plant bodies, these green color pigments are also present in the bacteria, so they are also called as what? Bacteriochlorophyll. So how many types are there? Here also we are going to see the presence of 5 types of the bacteriochlorophylls, that is bacteriochlorophyll A, bacteriochlorophyll B, bacteriochlorophyll C, bacteriochlorophyll D, bacteriochlorophyll E. So since they are present inside the bacteria can synthesize their own food material, or they undergo the process called as photosynthesis, which we will call them as the photosynthetic bacteria. Okay. Now apart from the chlorophyll pigments, also we are going to see the presence of the colored pigments inside the leaves, and here we are going to see the presence of 2 types of colors. One is called as what? Xanthophylls, and the other one is called as what? Phycobilin. So basically xanthophyll is the orange color pigment. So basically xanthophyll is the orange color pigment which is having 3 more types, that is alpha carotene, beta carotene and the leukoxanthin. And the empirical formula for the xanthophyll is C40H56. Okay, and apart from the xanthophyll, we are also seeing the presence of the phycobilins. So phycobilins are made up of red and the brown color pigments, and these phycobilins are of 2 types. One is called as what? Lutein, and the other one is called as what? Zeaxanthin. And the empirical formula for the lutein and zeaxanthin is C40H56O2. So this is all about the chlorophyll pigments. Okay. Apart from the chlorophyll pigments, we are also seeing the presence of the new concept, that is early experiments. So here, so many scientists have made their contribution in the doing the research of the photosynthesis. So for the first time, Joseph Priestley is a scientist who has proved that oxygen is released during the photosynthesis by the bell jar experiment. I have already explained this, what is bell jar experiment. That is, you have to take the bell jar. In one bell jar only mouse and the candle will be there, and in the another bell jar the candle will be there, mint plant body will be there, mint potted plant body will be there, and also the mouse will be there. So in one bell jar the mouse is going to die because of the suffocation, because the candle is going to release the carbon dioxide. So since there is no source for the absorption of the carbon dioxide, there the mouse is going to have the death. Whereas in the another bell jar experiment, there is a presence of the mint plant body. The CO2 is absorbed by the mint plant body, and the plant body is having the sunlight and the water and the chlorophyll pigment. And since there is a presence of all the raw materials in the mint plant body, the photosynthesis occurs in that, and then there is a release of oxygen, and that's how the mouse is going to survive. That is called as what? Bell jar experiment. Next is Jan Ingenhousz has proved that sunlight is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. Nicholas Theodore de Saussure has proved that water is essential, and CO2 and the importance of CO2 and the O2. Dutrouchet has proved that chlorophyll is required for photosynthesis. Liebig finally has proved that CO2 is very important source for the process of photosynthesis. Without CO2, no carbohydrates we are going to see. That is why photosynthesis are called as what? Carbon assimilation or carbon fixation. And also the last point what we have to say is plants are the lungs of nature. Why? Because they are releasing the oxygen and inhaling the carbon dioxide. They are releasing the oxygen and absorbing the carbon dioxide. So that is why we will call the plants are the lungs of nature. Okay. So please write it down all the points and concentrate on the NCERT textbook. So after this we have to start the reactions, light reaction and the dark reaction. If we complete the light reaction and dark reaction, photosynthesis is completed. So maximum half of the portion, half of the chapter we have completed here. Still 50% is remaining, that is light reaction we have to see, dark reaction we have to see, then factors affecting the rate of photosynthesis. Over. If we complete these 3 to 4 concepts, then the chapter is completed. Okay, please note it down.